Hi everyone, and I thought I'd just quickly do a video discussing the Tic Swap. Now, if you don't know already, then some people with, well actually quite a lot of people with Tourette's, we have tics that change over time. So sometimes you might have a tic that lasts a day, sometimes you might have a tic that lasts a few years, and it's really unpredictable because our tics do change over time. They wax and wane, which means they get milder and severe over time, but also you can have a tic that's replaced with another, and you can have different amounts of tics at different times, so it is very complex. The Tic Swap is basically where when you are around other people with Tourette's or tics, then you might actually pick up some of their tics. For example, I used to go to a lot of Tourette's events, and I still do, and it has absolutely changed my life, and I love seeing all these people. But when I went for the first time, I was surprised about how our tics actually bounced off each other, and how some of our complex vocal tics actually finished off each other's sentences. It was quite interesting to see that. So our tics do react with each other, and sometimes it can temporarily make our tics worse. And sometimes you can go home with new tics as well. And I know that some people do worry about this, and it can be quite worrying, thinking, oh no, what tic am I going to get? Is it going to be worse than any I have already? But in my personal experience, I would say that it's completely worth it to go to Tourette's events and meet others, because I've met some of the best friends I've ever met in my entire life, and it's enriched my life so much. And I've also found new and more effective treatment options and management strategies by talking to people in the Tourette's community. So I highly recommend it, and it's also empowered me to speak for myself and raise awareness for the condition. So I do highly recommend going to a group, and although you may pick up more tics, they do usually diminish within a few days and your tics will go back to normal, and it does sometimes make them worse temporarily, but for me that's a small price to pay to meet some of the best friends I've ever met and also learn about new treatment options that have completely changed my life for the better. So I remember once I was watching a Tourette documentary, and I went into school the next day, and my Senko was like, where did you get all these new tics from? And I had to explain that I was watching a documentary the day before, and she was like, oh, okay then. And I remember a day after, I think it was the first or second time I went to my Tourette's camp, I was ticking very severely in maths class, and my teacher was like, what do you think's make your tics so bad today? And I had to explain that I was at a Tourette's event. And sometimes it's also, you can sometimes pick up tics from things you hear in the environment as well, which might explain why you can sometimes pick up tics of other people, because it's sort of the power of suggestion. Even though Tourette's is not psychological and it's neurological, there is still an aspect of the power of suggestion. So if you see someone tic, you may start ticking more or pick up their tics. So I know for me, if I'm listening to music a lot, I may actually start ticking the lyrics. So on the way to my Tourette's camp once, it was a 6-hour drive, and I was listening to a Queen CD the entire time, and then for about a week after that I was just ticking Queen songs, which I didn't actually mind. It was actually quite entertaining because I love Queen, so that was kind of a good one. But yeah, I don't think it's worth worrying about picking up tics of other people, because I remember that one week I was ticking incredibly severely, more severely than usual, and I was questioning whether I should actually go to group or not. But I'm so grateful that I did, because this group completely changed my life, and it actually showed me a treatment option that has now reduced my tics by 99%, and I treat it naturally now, which is more effective for me as it reduces the inflammation in my brain. But I'm so grateful that I chose to go to that group, because I've met some of the best friends ever. So I would say that although you may pick up tics of other people, they do diminish after a little while. Your tics will go back to normal, and it's completely worth it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!